Oh, you went the red. Nice.
We did. We went to red. Bring it back, Red Wine Fridays. Nothing beats that sound, though.
You cheers, don't get, mate. Happy New Year.
Cheers. Happy New Year. You don't get that sound out of a wine bottle, unfortunately.
No, but you do get to look really cool when you're like unscrewing the cork and, you know, that little.
That's right. What do you go with?
Well, I actually went to this brewery last night. I went to Steamworks flagship hazy IPA. I went something very me for today. Caught up with an old mate, Wyatt, who moved from Victoria to Vancouver recently. Hadn't seen each other for almost 2 years, and a few things had happened in that time. So we had a lot to chat about. Also, a lot has happened between our last episode and now, Bill.
It has. Things have happened.
There's been. Hey, Olive, how you doing, love?
She's doing good. It's a big girl now.
She on the Reds as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's Red Wine Friday.
So. Olive's always been an advocate for Red Wine Friday. I forgot the fuck I was talking about.
Everything that's happened in the last month.
Yeah. So this is going to be a very probably the most balanced passports and playbooks episode in terms of splitting the two. We spent a lot of the end of. I'm also going to paint my nails during this because I haven't had time. So you just be aware that's going to be happening. We spent a lot of the end of last year really educating the Americans on what passports are. I hope that inspired some of them to go and get one. But mine's definitely been in use and is about to be thrashed a little bit more over the next few weeks. Yours too there's some sprinkling of passport needed coming up, but yeah, over Christmas and New Year's went to London, went to Manchester, went to multiple places in Scotland, went to Dublin in Ireland, went to Brussels in Belgium, went to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Back here now, off to Mexico tomorrow, back up to the east side of Canada. Well, I say east side, everyone's get pissed off because they think I'm talking about like Newfoundland. More east than here, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. Then back off to Scotland, different parts this time. Then Italy for the first time. Never been to Italy, but I'm going to go to Verona, Venice, and ski in the Dolomites, which is an unbelievable sentence to say. It wasn't really planned, but that's happening now. So that's all good. Back for 8 days and off to Australia for 6+ weeks. So that's when we'll reunite. Although there is maybe a Whistler trip in that 8 days that I'm back here that I was going to float to you. But
I think we can sneak that in. I think
we can figure that out. But the passport's being thrashed, Bill. Absolutely thrashed.
You're getting some serious stamps in there, mate. I like it. Skiing in Europe. That's going to be sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Having to drive up a van into the mountains though is the plan. And snow tires aren't mandatory, so you're on summer tires, but they give you snow chains. So I don't know which part of the mountain goes from perfectly summer roads and then instantly changes to enough deep snow that you can just flip the chains on at that exact moment. But might be some hairy in-between area there that we'll have to navigate. So
travel insurance
for sure. Hopes and prayers as well might help as well, even though Ricky Gervais doesn't think so. But so yeah, a lot going on. Tell us about your holidays quickly, Bill. I know you had some bigger action come over.
That's right. We had the Miami trip.
And the Miami trip.
But we did touch on that in the last pod in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just chilled. Hung around Seattle, went and saw some eagles. Not as many eagles as we would have liked, but we saw a couple of eagles.
You're absolutely robbed, Bill. Do you want to tell people the story of what we did and then what happened?
Well, yeah, we did, the boys. When Matt Claxton come over, we went up to Mount Baker in Washington to the plan was to go skiing, but there wasn't enough snow. No. Mountain wasn't open. No. So we were finding things to do around the area. I think it was the local brewery, the bartender. She gave us a hot tip, dropped a pin on my phone and was like, this is where you go to see the eagles. And we're like, all right. So, we drive around, find this little spot, park there, walk down to the river, and we're like, that's a shit ton of Eagles. I think we saw, what was it, 43 or something?
Yeah. And we're not saying like we waited there for hours and saw them come and go. We're there for about 6 minutes.
Yep.
And looking in one spot, probably like, to be fair though, covered like from right to left, 200 meters of river. But we're talking like 4 on one tree, just hanging. We were standing underneath one.
Yeah. Big bald eagles for anyone didn't know. But yeah, we were standing right underneath one. So then I was like, all right, I'll take Beck and her dad back there. What was it? A couple weeks later, literally 2 weeks later.
Beck's been frothing to see some bald eagles too.
Frothing to see some bald eagles. So yeah, I was like, well, I know the exact spot. I'm going to take him. Let's drive 2.5 hours into the mountains to this spot. And we get there, walk down to the river. And I'm just like, definitely, where the fuck are they? There's literally like none. And we had to like really chill there for maybe like 10 minutes and then like one, jump out of a tree. And we're like,
what a stitch up, eh? Absolutely.
Stitch up. So obviously the salmon had either moved on or I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you can't win them all.
Just hung around the old PNW for my holidays. Didn't stamp the passport, but we'll see.
Well, to be fair, we were actually pissed about it. So were the Aussie boys. We didn't get a lot of stamps.
Yeah, that's the problem with Europe now with the European Union. You just get one or like maybe two with the UK.
We had two times we went through airport or whatever, and like you give the guy the passport, not one question, not one like, why are you here? Absolutely nothing, not one. So obviously we try to teach the Americans how to use a passport, what a passport is. We could also teach the American Border Control that you don't have to be a see you next Tuesday every time someone comes through.
Absolutely.
But, they are saving the world every single day.
I was gutted. When I went to Singapore, they've gone like fully electronic, no like paper stamp, like no stamp in your passport anymore. They just keep it all electronic records. I was like, really?
Interesting.
You've got to be kidding me.
I did like, the benefits of the Commonwealth, rocking up to fly into London. All you do is scan your passport, the thing opens, you go through, and that's fine. So I did like that. That was pretty handy.
Nice.
Well, that's a little intro on the passport. G'day, Beck. I guess there's some sports stuff to talk about. You did. My phone's on the Instagram, so I can't list that you put.
We got. We're going to do wild card recap. So last week, I'm going to bring that up on my.
Yeah.
Jeez, why is it spinning a little slow? Well, I guess what kicked it off? Well, it was Browns Texans.
I would say this. The overarching thing, I want you to go game by game, but my overarching thing is blowouts, but very interesting weekend. Unexpected.
Super interesting. I thought the Browns, I don't know, the defense just got torched. And Flacco went back to being 39-year-old Flacco.
Is he 39?
I think so. He's pretty old.
That's Flacco.
Texans dropped 45 on them. Absolutely smoked them. That one was cool to watch. I wasn't expecting to see that from a rookie quarterback in Stroud.
You did watch that game?
I watched. I think I watched quite a bit of football last weekend. I didn't see all of Rams Lions. Actually, maybe that's the one I missed.
That's the one I watched in full, so I'll talk about that one.
That's the one I missed.
I'll cover you.
Thanks, man. Cool. Yeah, it was -10 in Seattle last weekend, so not much to do outdoors.
Same, snow everywhere here. Everywhere.
But that was good. So good. We'll talk about obviously how the Texans, how we feel about them this week. But then Dolphins Chiefs, not I guess a little bit surprising, but Dolphins don't play well away from home.
7 points though with that.
I know, pretty bad in the snow. I don't know. Yeah, something just not good with that offense. I don't know. That offense has got to do more. It's weird. Like really, there's no excuse for the offense. Like I know that the defense had like six defensive starters out.
That's what I was going to say.
For the season. And then literally the first quarter, another dude went down, another starter in the first quarter. I'm just like, they're fucked. But that's no excuse for the offense.
No.
But I guess it also does. Yeah, it is tough. I guess playing the Chiefs, you got to keep the ball off Patrick Mahomes, and if he can just do what he wants all day,
Yeah, well,
Pacheco's just running the ball. Yeah,
Pat in the playoffs is a bit of a different beast as well. I think I saw a stat where it's like of the quarterbacks remaining, like playoff wins, Pat has 12, and then I think Josh has 3 or something like that. That's like, yeah.
Insane.
So I wouldn't sleep on that fact coming from the AFC. So anyway, yes.
Yeah, and then Packers, Cowboys, Cowboys. Fuck Dallas, right?
The score. Fuck Dallas, and we'll talk about your boy.
It's so good,
but the score doesn't even like because I wasn't.
No, it was literally. It was what 27-0. So like really, I don't know. We could say it was like I don't know 40. It was 40 plus to like 10, and then Dallas probably piled on 20 plus junk points once the game was over.
Did Trey Lance play?
No, but he probably should have.
Right. So Dak scored those late tuds. That was Dak.
That was all Dak. That one's made me think like the Seahawks bring in Dan Quinn. I might be wearing red pretty quick. I will not stand. You cannot hire a bloke who's just had 48 dropped on him as defensive coordinator.
We've got some people watching. Actually.
Oh, we do.
We've got.
And then who we got?
I was just shout out people. Do you know who Pash_Yo is?
No, that's a new one.
That's a new one. Check out that. And whoever you are, Pash_Yo, I'm very honored that you're here right now. I'm very proud to have you. Maybe you just joined and left. Chris Swanson's here. It's always good to have some family involved. And it says Merrick, my roommate's here.
Hey,
Merrick. Feel free to stick your head in if you want to contribute anything at any stage. I'll happily have you crash.
Nice. Let's go.
Record numbers on the Instagram.
Next up, we've got.
I'll go Rams Lions here.
Yep, you go.
This is the one that this is the only game I watched in full. I was flat out this week.
Easy boy.
Rams Lions. Lions started off like playing really well, and I know we'll talk about more of the winners in the next round, but I just had a feeling. I thought that they were really gonna like stamp their foot down and almost put a claim out that like they are legit in the NFC. But I must admit, there was a point where the Rams started to come back where I was like, this is going to be the most Lions thing ever. If Stafford does come in after being up by like 2 tuds or whatever, and then comes back, you almost get, he got knocked out. He did the full, like,
he was not good.
He did the whole eye thing.
Yeah.
And they let him back on. And no one's talking about it, but shouldn't have been let back on. And then they came this close. So I would say shout out to the Rams for coming back from like, what were they, 1-6 or 1-5 or some bullshit and making the playoffs and nearly making the divisional round. And like Matt Stafford was nearly like retired after that injury he had last year. So a lot of respect for the Rams. Puka Nacua had 180 something yards and a tud. He's like single season receiving record, like regular season. And that's the most receiving yards in a game by a rookie ever. And then I saw a lot of like war room draft day footage of when they drafted him. And like, it's like before they made the pick, McVay's talking to whoever, and he's like talking about like the type of player that he would be in his system and the things that they would do with him. And it's just like insane, like how he just knew like what this kid was going to do for that team. Like it's wild. So,
that's so good. I do love that because all the early season talk was, Stafford's not getting along with his young wide receivers.
Yeah.
What a load of shit.
And then there's all the Lightning McQueen cars memes of like when that black car like speeds off past, and that's Cooper Kupp apparently. But so yeah, Rams done, and then did you watch the Monday games?
So the Bills Steelers. Obviously, it was going to be very tough for the Steelers when you don't have TJ, your best player.
They're 1-11 without TJ. Something like that.
And then you got Mason Rudolph playing. That guy just has a face you'd love to hit with a helmet. But yeah, it was the Josh Allen game. He was sick. He rattle off like a 52-yard touchdown.
Did you see that?
Yeah, to put him up like 50, put him up 21-0.
And he hit him with the full, like, or did he? I don't know. He did the flex somewhere, and I was like, yeah, fucking that deserves it.
That's good. That was pretty good. The Bills are looking pretty good. I like that the Bills have home game now, home field up there in the, you could call it the Ice Bowl. And then, it reminds me of when I went and visited Buffalo in Christmas time. It's like the coldest I've ever been in my life.
You would have been in there shoveling snow if you were still in Buffalo. You would have been in there.
Absolutely.
$20 an hour or whatever it was they were paying.
And a free meal.
And was it a free meal? Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's right. And then a bit of a surprise, the Bucks. I know we've been talking about the Bucks.
You called it. You messaged me. You texted me beforehand. I was out at dinner with Logan, and you were like, "Bucks upset," and I saw it like when the game was already well and truly into
it. Don't sleep on Baker. And the Eagles. I don't know what happened. They've just gone to shit in the second half of the season.
Well, because we're talking about losers here first before we move on to this week. More disappointing loss. Eagles or Cowboys? And why?
I'd have to go Cowboys because they gave up 48. And, that D has, I can't remember. I saw a stat today of like, they've been behind at home this season. It was like for 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah. And then this game.
and in this game, they were like behind for
52 or something.
52, yeah. I'd say that's probably the more disappointing one.
I agree. Like, you can't, like, who goes 1-5 to finish the season and goes on a run? Doesn't matter who you are. Like, if it was because they didn't have, like, I know AJ Brown was out, but if it was because they didn't have Hurts, AJ Brown, and Lane Johnson and something, and that, then you're like, okay, that's fair. Because then you're just like, all right, limp into the playoffs, get healthy, and go. But it wasn't like that. Like, I know AJ Brown's a huge piece, but they were fucking limping as a team.
They were limping. I wouldn't be surprised if like something gets announced of Hurts having surgery soon. He hasn't looked right. I know we were riding him for our cash league, but I don't think he hasn't looked right since like week 3 or 4.
Did we do an episode or talk in an episode about how robbed we were and that we should probably hit up the league because Julian Love's toe was not down? And if Julian Love's toe was not down, that wasn't a pick, which means his Hurts doesn't lose points, plus they're still driving, which means we do move on in the cash league. I don't know who we write a letter to, but
we'll write a letter to FFPC, the governing body.
Yeah, and Roger Goodell.
Strongly worded letter, and Roger, because, hey.
I think we go straight to the top because we deserve it.
Flick a message to Jerry Jones, too.
I'm pretty well connected in the sports world right now, Bill, so I'll maybe reach out to Brock Purdy's parents and see how it goes.
Give that a rest.
Okay.
That's a good one. Let's get on to our like hot Insta topics, or just hot news at the moment.
Well, I thought we were going to talk about the divisional round.
Yeah, we could do that. I was going to do that last, but no, we can do that now.
We'll do it last. You're the one that set the agenda. Go for it. What are we doing?
The
P&P, the saved items.
P&P saved, yeah.
Well, we have a question from Christopher Brian Swanson, for those of you playing at home. Brian was our granddad's name. Thoughts on the Suns' 22-point comeback versus the Kings? Didn't know about it, didn't see it. Before I comment, I'm going to look at the standings because last time I checked, the Suns are in like 11th.
That is wild. I remember, it was Tuesday's game. Yeah, I remember looking and being like, Suns getting pumped. That's bad.
Yeah. Suns are 4 games above 500 in the 8th slot. Kings are just a half a game ahead of them. Kings are 23-18. Suns are 22-18. So 7-3 in their last 10.
Little clutch.
I mean, I never thought that they wouldn't make the playoffs.
No.
I don't know how healthy they've been. I don't know if Booker, Beal, and Durant have played a lot together. But I'd imagine that if they do, you wouldn't want to be the Timberwolves to get the Suns in the first round.
Yeah, Timberwolves probably losing that.
The Timberwolves, man, what the fuck is I mean, I get it. People give Rudy Gobert shit.
We watched him last year, and he does everything right as a big fella. Remember?
I would have Rudy on my team any day. Anthony Edwards is the man. Cat has always been the one for me where I'm just like,
I hate Cat.
Do you have it? The video of his voice changing. Have you seen that?
I've seen that.
Like,
he just is not. He's the opposite of him. There's him, and then there's Cat.
I hesitate to say there's him and then there's her because we'll get cancelled for that. But like,
there's him and Cat.
The equivalent word is, but yeah, he doesn't have it. But either way, hey, more power to the Wolves if they're sitting there.
Yeah, look who's second in the West.
Well, I was gonna. I mean, I think we've probably saved some stuff related to them. I think I have. Yeah, we had the score against the Thunder where they dropped 139 versus 77. We should talk who we're talking about. So the Oklahoma City Thunder are a fucking wagon, and they're going to be a wagon for a long, disgustingly long time. This isn't saved. Josh Giddey is the third youngest player in NBA history to reach 1,000 assists, I think, only behind like LeBron and oh shit, I breached it.
What?
I said the name.
I didn't hear it. Someone just started playing Sex in the City on the TV.
Oh, thank God. I hope can we get you know how there's a guy 5-second delay?
Rewind.
Can we get fuck cunt fuck dude press
fuck cunt cancel us.
Anyway, behind someone and someone else. But in this game, for example, they beat Portland by 60. Obviously, Portland are a great team. Shai's plus minus 41. Giddey's plus minus 46. Is it Jaden or Jalen?
Jalen. There's two Jalens.
Yeah. Jalen plus 39, Chet plus 41. And they're like their box score, like Shai 31, 5 and 4. Giddey 13, 10, 12. Jalen 21, 7, 4. Chet 19, 4, 3. Like,
it's pretty ridiculous. I remember looking it up. I think that was because I was giving Jim a shit because he's a Blazers fan. And then I looked, so that was the fifth biggest loss in history. But Oklahoma has the biggest.
Really?
I guess they had to go through their tanking years to get.
Who they lose to?
It's like Warriors or something. They got like spanked before they even had like SGA. I think this was like that bad Westbrook time. So I think like Westbrook wasn't playing.
Biggest loss in NBA history: Oklahoma City versus the Memphis Grizzlies.
Grizz.
Memphis scored 152 points and Oklahoma City lost by 73 points.
Yeah.
Did Ja have like 50 or something? Yeah. Fuck. Anyway, well, that's a long time in the rearview mirror now. Boys are 28 and 13, half a game in front of the Nuggets.
And all the draft picks for the next 10 years.
Well, do you still have them? Like, what's left? What's left?
A lot. I think that's like a lot.
So at what point do you go, we're like 1 star away. Here's 3 first-round picks or 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, let me have a look. So they've got, what year is it? So I think this year, they've got like 4 first-round picks this year. That's disgusting. So they got like Rockets, Jazz, and then probably Indiana's, and then the Clippers.
I feel like it's an interesting position though, right?
It is. And then next year they've got 4 firsts, and then 2026 they've got 3. 2027 they've got 3. So like they've got first round picks of like others up until
they have 4, 4, 3, 3 over the next 4 years.
Yeah, and then it winds down to like a 1, 2, 1. But
well, I think, like, okay, I'm gonna ask you this. You're an OKC fan, right? And we kind of know basketball a little bit and pro sports in general. And building a championship team is hard, and it's a bit of a puzzle, and there's multiple ways to do it. Your GM at OKC, you have all these picks. This team is sitting second in the West, right? Very competitive. That you can, there's the theory to go like, hey, keep drafting studs. They're all going to grow together, and you're going to have this powerhouse. But I feel like that tends to like not work because then they all come up for contract at the same time. And if you haven't won yet, so it's like, what would you do? At what point do you pull the trigger, and what's the mix? Do you think? Because even like Udonis Haslem and a lot of those vets talk about, like, a championship team. It's great to have all these young studs. Obviously, it's better. Like, you look at the Warriors with Steph and Dre and all that coming up together. But you do need some vets. Like, they had Livingston, they had Bogut, they had that. Interested to hear your thoughts on like how do they turn this really? It's like one of the best opportunities ever into multiple championships. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's the core of Williams. Well, that's where it's tough. I between Giddy, Williams, SGA, and Chet, trying to pick three. It's very hard to pick three. I don't know which.
Right.
Like Williams is very, very good. I'd almost pick him over Giddy, and I love Giddy. But like it's one of say you pick three of those four, I'd be like trying to get a vet. You need a guy like PJ Tucker or a Haslam. You need a vet who's not afraid to get his hands dirty. Like I reckon an OG Anunoby would be like on that team. Someone in that mold, someone who doesn't need to get their 20 shots up, but they're happy to grind out and play defense for 40 minutes.
You probably have to.
And a backup big. They have no backup big.
You know what I'd say? You know who would be good if he wasn't fucking crazy? A player like Draymond Green.
Yeah, if he wasn't crazy and if he was maybe a couple of years younger. Yeah,
because I'm looking at teams that are outside the playoffs that aren't like a young up and coming team, right? Who maybe have something to spare. So like, you look at the Bulls. Is DeRozan in that category? Like, is Vucevic still considered too much of a star? Like someone like that, because like the Bulls are gonna go down.
Yeah, that could be like, but I feel like Vooch is still talked to like going to. I don't know. I think they still consider him a star.
Yeah, I think he's overrated. As a exiting Bulls fan, because I am.
He was definitely He was overrated he pumped himself up pretty good at the Magic.
He was like Andre Drummond, just putting those numbers up on that type of squad, right? Like it was just.
I feel like is that like just a hard-nosed player, a kind of a dying breed? Because I think I look at like Draymond, PJ, James Johnson. Like who's the next? Like obviously there's Dylan Brooks, but like who's the next dude? Kind of.
I'm just looking at some like shitty squads. Like okay. Detroit have like Bojan Bogdanovic and like Danilo Gallinari. They have Joe Harris. Someone like Joe Harris.
Yeah, he's been like stuffed down into.
He got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. Maybe he just hasn't.
The Wizards don't sure. The Wizards, man, fucking hell. Who do they have? They have no one worth touching at all.
I reckon the Pistons finished the season with a better winning record than the Wizards, I think.
Yeah, that looking at the Wizards roster is actually quite painful. Gordon Hayward on the Hornets. Surely he's getting to the point where it's like, can't, mate, you're not.
Yeah,
players like that.
Might be the type of vet you can go grab.
Yeah. How's speaking of trades and stuff? I don't want to. Yeah, if you want to talk more about the
no, that's good. That we talked about them. I like that.
I'm very open to it.
That can be a topic coming up in the next few weeks. We'll come up with our best scenarios.
This is something that was saved, but also just came in front of me because I was looking at players. Toronto Raptors roster. What are you drinking? What do you got?
Some local Washington Shadow Saint Michelle.
Are you drinking red that's not from Adelaide?
Yeah.
Fuck. Why?
And then because I don't know, imported wine's a bit more expensive.
Mate, you can get Church Block for like 23 Canadian. Yeah,
but no, this is Washington does do a good Pinot.
Okay.
Yeah, from Columbia Gorge. I think it's like it was. What do they call it? Washington's founding winery. Apparently.
There you go. So, nice. We have another guest on Instagram, Brandon, fellow Millions team member. Welcome to the podcast, Brandon. Could spend time with Mum for her birthday. Just throwing it out there, Brandon. But glad to have you here, regardless. We actually have another basketball question before we talk about the Raptors. We can pick that apart. We have another question saying, what is the US talk and news after Josh Giddey being cleared? Boomers coach put an article out this week in Australia saying the abuse he was copying was terrible. Brandon's mum's watching the podcast. Happy birthday, Brandon's mum.
Happy birthday.
Send it. Yeah. Have a few reds, have a few beers, have a few pina coladas. Just send them down. If you've got mushrooms, take them. That'll be fun. The talk on Giddey.
Yeah.
From a Canadian perspective, probably can only give a little bit, but I'm wondering if there is more talk in in Seattle. But from my point of view, definitely what popped off when it happened. Didn't hear much since. I think because OKC is a small market and North Americans don't really spend too much attention on like international players unless it's like Luka or Jokic. It wasn't much talk, but I don't know if you heard any more.
No, it blew up. When it happened, and I've seen like the trash media outlets have still been trying to push it.
Yeah,
aka Snapchat.
What are you seeing? Oh, you still have
Snapchat been pushing the freaking like Giddy thing for like every day. It like tries to spam me with this shit, and then literally it stopped the day that he got cleared, and I'm just like, but they haven't released something saying Giddy's now cleared. It's just clickbait bullshit.
Do you find it interesting that the social platform that was pushing that is the one that's used mostly by underagers? There's a little bit of irony in that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think
target market. But yeah, I think it was bad. Like every away game, he was getting booed every time he touched the ball. Like it was disgusting.
I think for me, when it came out that she was in the club, as in had been like legally or duty of care, or it's probably not relevant. But if you're in a place where people are checked for ID, I think you're not supposed to then go and check their ID. I think it would be pretty safe to assume, well, from a legal standpoint anyway.
Surely
the
club's doing that.
If they look 12, maybe like think about it twice. But I haven't heard much since, and I don't think it's going to be something that like jades his career or is carried with him too much.
No, I've seen other players recover from worse.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Raptors. I am in Canada, so we should probably talk about it a little bit. So 2 trades. They sent OG to the Knicks for Quickly and Barrett. And then as of today or yesterday, they've sent Siakam to the Pacers for Bruce Brown and a few picks. Let's first talk about maybe the effect on the Raptors, and then I would like to talk about the Pacers. But obviously, Raptors get Toronto's own RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
You pointed this out to me when I asked you what you thought about it, that they probably just want to build around him and Scotty. Bruce Brown's a nice piece, but they definitely have, like with the Siakam trade, it's like, yeah, okay, this is our strategy.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the trade, and then also thoughts on, have you seen their coach speaking much lately? He's in the media a lot. It's quite interesting.
He's the bloke who keeps he says it how it is about refs and stuff, right? Yeah.
The European guy or something. Yeah.
I do like it. I guess the trade, I like it from the Raps. The Knicks needed to try something. I feel like the Knicks are not going anywhere with Randall anyway. But it's huge for the Raptors getting Barrett for OG. Like that's pretty good. Quickly, a piece off the bench. But yeah, definitely think they're building around Scotty and RJ, which are 2 awesome pieces.
Scotty's a great piece.
Yeah, I love Scotty. Big Scotty guy. And then I think that works awesome for Indiana too. I think you just saved in their lineup, right?
Yeah, so that's So to round it out, I agree. I think it's a good move by Toronto. I love their coach's energy. Seems to be hard ass, and I think that I don't know. I like it.
I love it.
So Pacers lineup. I don't know who Aaron Naismith is, I'll be honest, but I'm guessing he must be a wing. But yeah, their starting lineup suggested on this post is Halliburton, who we've talked about a lot and deservedly so. Buddy Hield, who pretty much is like second to Curry in all 3-point records in NBA history. Aaron Naismith, I'm not a real one, don't know who he is. Pascal, and then Miles Turner, who bit of a vet now, I guess, but still a good player.
Just keeps performing.
What do you think? I mean, they are, if I'm looking at the standings, they're 7. They're 24-17, but they're 7-3 in their last 10. Behind them in the Magic have dropped off, really. Magic and Bulls are behind them. So I would say that they're going to make the playoffs regardless. But yeah, what do you think about that lineup?
I think I'd be starting Benedict Mathurin over Naismith, who he actually dropped 25 yesterday. So,
okay.
They're pretty. It's a real nice lineup. I don't know who else they have. Let me have a look.
It's a nice lineup for the future too.
Who cares? I guess who you've got when you've got Halliburton and Siakam. Like that's.
Well, I'll give you the rest of their rosters or some other names on there.
TJ McConnell.
They got Obi Toppin, who I actually think is playing better than people give him.
Yeah, he's playing
for.
better. Yeah, definitely.
They got Mathurin. They got TJ McConnell.
Nemhart,
Actually,
solid backup.
They have no depth.
No, they got like McConnell, Nemhart. You
tell me if you know any of these guys: Kendall
James
Brown, Ben
Johnson.
Shepherd, Isaiah Wong, Isaiah Jackson, Oscar Thisawabe, Jarris Walker. Any of them?
I remember Wong. Yeah. He was a baller for Miami Hurricanes.
He was. Look at you go.
He had some bougie hair.
I
remember March Madness last year.
That's pretty funny. I thought you were going to be Wong, but turns out you were white. So there you go. All right, nice. That is the Pacers. Thanks, mate.
All right. What else we got? Yeah, it's a good.
I would like to talk about Caitlin Clark, and I think you would too, because I think you're a bigger Caitlin Clark fan than me. A couple Caitlin Clark things that we've saved. One, the attendance graphic that we saved.
That's unreal.
So some stats for games. So she played at Northern Iowa, at Iowa State, at Wisconsin, at Rutgers, and at Purdue. So I'm going to read you the average crowd that they typically have, and then I'm going to read you the crowd that they get when Caitlin played. So average in Northern Iowa is 4.5 grand. They got 6,700 when she played. Iowa State is just bang on 10K. They got over 14,000 in there when she came. Wisconsin, they averaged 4,500. 14,200 people rocked up to see Caitlin play. Rutgers is a good percentage too. 2,500 normally, 8,000 when Caitlin was in. And then the most recent one at Purdue, 4,800 is the average, 14,800. Is she going to play in the fucking NBA? Like, the step back 3 clip that we saved is filthy. She and I look, I don't want to sound sexist, but like I say this in like the way of watching NBA. She looks like she plays basketball like a guy. Like the way that she moves.
She plays like Steph.
She plays like Steph.
Yeah.
She plays like Steph. It's insane. Like I
reckon I don't know what. I need to look it up.
Can we? Oh, I'm not going to fucking be here, am I?
I was
going to be like, is there a way we could?
I'm going to try and find a game.
She's getting drafted to Indiana, right? That's pretty much locked in, yeah. Like,
probably.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm trying to find out like what do they average points per game? She's averaging over 20 as a rookie. I'm locking it in.
She's a freak. Like, she's so good at basketball. And it's been so good for the game because, like, so many people talk about her. And it's like, Jason Sudeikis is always at women's college basketball, which I think is the most wholesome thing ever, given, like, the whole Ted Lasso story arc and, like, college coaching and stuff. But
it's kind of, they're second ranked to South Carolina, too, for the women's top 25.
Yeah. Well, she had a few like vets on her team finished. So to still be there is like it's a testament to her for sure.
It's pretty wild. I know there was all that drama with her and the LSU girl from last year.
Angel Reese can get fucked as much.
I just thought I'd look at Angel Reese's stats, and she's been balling, and no one's talking about it. No one gives a fuck.
What stats is she
putting up? Like 25 and 17 and like 30 and 10, but no one gives a shit because she's not. She's
shit attitude.
She's good. She's good, but like we're talking about like someone coming in being a goat.
Yeah, I don't.
Hairy. Caitlin is hairy.
I don't have time for Angel Reese. We are jumping between sports, but this is probably because we're 22 here. The coaching, the NFL coaching situation.
Wild.
Well, so let's recap here. We had Bama lose to Texas early in their season, and then they go on this crazy run, beat Georgia, make it to the playoffs, a 4th and 2 away from beating Michigan to make it to the playoff. Everyone's thinking, is this Nick Saban's best coaching performance of all time? Like, perhaps. Retires. Says, that'll do.
With 8-9 years left on your contract.
Apparently, he was just like, essentially like, that was fucking hard this year. It's apparently what's come out like, and he ain't no spring chicken. So he goes next day. Old mate Bill Belichick, considered greatest coach of all time, 6-time Lombardi winner, pretty much told that'll do. See you later. Now, not retiring, does want to get the record. I mean, part of me thinks.
Does he have 8 rings in total? 2 is like coordinator.
Yeah,
still wild. Yeah,
he was with the Giants.
Yeah.
He was a part of the team where in the NFC conference game, the Giants like pretty much killed Joe Montana, like knocked him out and like broke him in half, and that's why. So he was a part of that defense. So that was a big part of that. But yes, you're correct. He was involved in more than the
day after trauma.
I feel like though, like if I'm the team getting him, like I honestly don't think Bill's taking another job because he wants to win another title. Bill's taking another job to win 15 games. Like he just wants the record, which I get it. But like for me, if I was the GM, I'd be like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure he's going to apply himself because to get those 15 wins, I'm sure he'd rather get him in 2 years instead of like 5. Yeah. But I hold apprehension around that. Actually, pause there. We'll talk about the third one because it's very important to you in a second. But Atlanta, have you heard this?
Yeah, he's had 2 interviews with him. Like that seems wild.
I mean, okay, they don't have a quarterback, but they have Bijan, London, and Pitts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty good. And I know they have a pretty good defense. I know they got Jesse Bates and they got another, I think, safety that's pretty good. But, like, really? Like, is it because he thinks the NFC South is fucking rat shit? Like,
maybe. Surely he'd be thinking, I don't know, maybe it's just not out in the media, but I'm sure he's interviewing elsewhere.
Anyway, so we'll bookmark that one. But then, you know, hey, and I as an NFC West fan and have been to multiple games with this team involved, you know, Billy, this is close to your heart. I don't know if you want to share the news here, but the third one is I'm just going to have a drink to him while you talk about what's happened there in Seattle.
Have a drink to Pete Carroll. Thanks, mate. Thanks for the Super Bowl. Almost 2.
Yeah.
But, give the ball to Marshawn. Another shocker the day after, or maybe even the same day as the Bill news is, Pete.
I think it was 3 days in a row, yeah.
And then, Pete steps down.
Whoa. Steps down,
Bill? Kicked to the curb. Although they're keeping him on as an advisor, whatever that means. But anyway, Pete gets asked to no longer be coach.
He don't want to be there.
No. I haven't heard much. I haven't really looked into it either, whether he's thinking about going somewhere else. I think he might have said he wants to kick on.
Well, the other graphic I have up to continue this conversation is that list of vacancy rankings. What else did you have on your list for tonight? We were going to do the divisional round. Is there anything else?
That was it. I was going to give a shout out to some golf boys.
Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we do the vacancy chat to round out that Pete Carroll thing? Then we can do shout out or football. Which order?
We'll do shout out and footy.
Okay. So this is according to Will Brinson, who I've never heard of, that works at CBS Sports. I'm sure he's a fucking genius. His ranking for the vacancies of head coaching opportunities was, as in number 1 being the best, 1 Seattle, 2 Washington, 3 Chargers, 4 Atlanta, 5 Vegas, 6 New England, 7 Tennessee, 8 Carolina. We messaged back and forwards on this. Seattle being ranked 1. I think I said to you, I think Seattle and Clippers, Chargers like 1A, 1B. That's my feel. Yeah. Justin Herbert.
Maybe, it might be Seattle's got a little bit more cap wiggle room. I know the Chargers are absolutely reamed with their cap situation. So that is,
as in you're saying that you take that team, but your roster's locked in. Essentially, is what you're saying.
I think essentially, they don't have much wiggle room.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the only reason Washington's there at 2 is because they have all the space.
They've got all the wiggle room, but I don't know. You got to convince people to come.
But for Washington, we talked about this a lot this season. You got 3 really good receivers. You got McLaurin, you got Dotson, and you got fucking Samuel. Great receivers, right? And you had you had Young and Sweat, who have both gone off to play really well. Like you had some really good pieces, and I know you probably got some stuff back from him, but like, mate, Nick players like Young and Sweat and like both of that category, like they're I don't think they're growing trees. You know what I mean? Like,
No, yeah, those were terrible decisions.
I think we also said I put Tennessee last. I feel like Bryce Young and the fact that you have the richest owner in history of sports is a pretty like, you know,
Yeah, that'll help things.
and also from a funny point of view, like
not afraid to throw his drink on
that and like as a selfish perspective as a coach, it's like you get a big deal there, and even if you shit and you get fired, you're getting paid for multiple years, even though you're not. Yeah. I think New England is pretty good opportunity, to be honest. They got a top 3 pick plus that defense. Like Christian Gonzalez is going to be a stud. I don't know what you do with Vegas because Jimmy G's contract's huge, but I feel like has anyone been appointed? Vegas appointed Gibson. Harbrow to Chargers is mostly locked in, so it's like so to round it out to what I was actually talking about, what you're talking about. If you Pete Carroll, or if you're a team, like who would want Pete Carroll right now? Like, is Pete Carroll like a rebuilding guy? He's in his 70s. I'm not saying he's about to drop or anything, but like if you're Pete, do you just stay at Seattle because you want to wait a little bit, or like does one of these, like maybe if Harbrow says no to Chargers, like I don't know. What do you think?
I'm just looking. Like I can't find anything about Pete looking for another role. Like I think he might be just happy to sit in Seattle as like an assistant advisory type role this season. But yeah, Bill, I guess if the Chargers are gone, the Falcons just seem like the odd choice still.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's Mike Vrabel too. Has he gone anywhere yet?
Yeah. No, but he'll get a job. He'll get
a job. Yeah, for sure. He was probably a little surprising. Like he always managed to rally some average lineups.
I could see him being a culture changer for Carolina.
Definitely.
Young QB. I don't know who else they have in their team. Like obviously
Carolina should be bringing in Pete in some sort of role. That's what they need. Pete, some warmer weather down there. You know,
thriving. Chewing.
Charlotte's a beautiful city.
You're I'm yet to go. I actually made a friend through Millions who lives in Atlanta, and he invited me down to stay in summer. Billy, you can come down to get her. I'm not going to spend any fucking time in Vancouver, apparently, so might as well just keep.
Why not?
Keep planning it.
Yeah. I guess to wrap up the horrendous week Seattle had, was it 2 weeks ago, when so they lose the college championship on Monday. I think Wednesday Pete's out. Thursday, Kalen DeBoer's going to Alabama.
Yeah, I did see that too. We have Billy Goodwin joining on Instagram. We've got some big names on Instagram.
Some real big names. We'll see them in March.
Real big names. Billy Goodwin. Both these two humans on your screen will be back in Australia. I'm coming in on the 14th of March, and I might be staying for a long time. We don't know yet. Billy Wilson's going to be there too. So, shout out
Billy
to you.
Squared.
Billy Squared, Izzy, love you. Yeah, that's fucking shit week, isn't it?
Pretty rough.
As soon as that happened, I messaged you being like, well, RIP that Washington Huskies run. Like that's good for him though. Like unreal. Like really, really good. And I think you go.
No, I wasn't expecting him to get the Bama job, so he's definitely highly rated.
We love you guys. Izzy's here too. God, the whole fam's joining. This is unbelievable, Billy.
Beautiful.
Mate, I don't know how the fucking we're going to do this podcast while I'm traveling so much, but if we keep getting these numbers, we're getting a lot of love in there. We're getting a love of you guys from Billy. We're getting a love of you guys from Izzy. It's beautiful. Izzy, we're going to do more than one dinner this time. Okay, we're gonna spend actual time together, multiple times. Lots of dairy-free ice cream. Put that in your calendar. 13th of March through to whoever, like, who knows. But if you're Bama, though, right, good to secure such a big name coach immediately because you don't want to lose all those players in the. David Doltz has just joined. What is going on? I'm going to have to do a backflip on here. But if you're Bama, you secure your players, right? Because they're all like, okay, we've just lost fucking Nick Saban. where do I want to go next kind of thing. I feel like it was a good move by them.
For sure. It's good to secure someone quick. I know, quite a few players decommitted to UW on the Friday. So
I'm just gonna have a pour one out for Huskies program. It's a good run. Also, we probably should say congratulations, Michigan Wolverines. I must admit, look, I wanted Washington to win because of you and where we live and all that type of stuff. But to me, the story was amazing against all odds. You know, for Harbour to tick that box and then just I think naturally now move to the NFL. Obviously, ex-49ers coach, so have a lot of resonance with him. Sorry, UW. Cheers to them. We move on. See you next year.
That's right. We'll jump into golf now.
You go, mate. Yeah, golf, and then we'll have a look at these matchups. Yeah.
Golf. Just a shout out to Dalton and Jack, a couple of guys from the Seattle Sandbaggers, which is just like a social golf league in Seattle where there's a group of 40, 50 blokes who play in a tournament throughout the summer. So I'll be playing in it this summer. We might need to do weekly updates if I'm playing well.
Wow.
We'll see. But a couple of boys, Jack and Dalton, they've got a YouTube up and going called G-Hin and Tonic. So give that a look. For the golfers, they'll get it. It's kind of like a gin and tonic, but G-Hin's the Golf Handicap Administration in the USA.
It's almost as clever as our name.
I know. I would have went Zin and Tonic, but that works, I guess. Just quick shout out to those boys, and we might be doing we will be doing a quick golf update every week, I think. The winners and the losers.
A, your mic's getting scratchy, just a fair warning. B, that's a lot of fun. So, tell me more about like the competition. Like what?
I only I come in maybe like 3/4 of the way through their season last year. So I think
that's what you were playing in.
Yeah. So it's like I guess 8 to 12 tournaments, like one every 2 or 3 weeks.
And you played against that little fucker that wouldn't let you take like the last shot until like the last hole and you were 6 feet away, and he was just you can have that one. That fucking wherever you are, I don't know your name. I'm going to speak up for you.
No,
I don't know golf etiquette.
Revenge tour.
You can get fucked.
I'm gonna. Yeah, he's gonna get bent over and fisted this season.
It's gonna be like me and Dalt on a balcony in North Adelaide. Okay, that's if you know, you know, and.
It's going to be me on a golf day, Big Bad Wolf golf day, Billy versus construction fence. The guy doesn't stand a chance.
Boy, actually, on that, this is amazing. This is the first time in 5 years. You and I are going to be golf daying together. And for the first time in 33 years, I can play golf, which...
Smokey on my team, I think.
Unbelievable. All right, I have to pack, so we have 7 minutes.
Yeah, we can wrap up. We're just what do we got?
Let's divisional. Footy? This is important.
Footy.
So let's leave my game till last because I'll lead this one off. You let off the last one. Okay. Texans Ravens. So the first thing to talk about, and if Dolts is still listening, is very relevant. CJ Stroud is a great football player. D'Amico Ryans is a great football coach. And if I'm the Houston Texans, I'm looking at my division. Anthony Richardson, still question mark, but I'm thinking I'm making the playoffs for the next 10 years if I'm the Houston Texans because that wide receiver corp, I think they can get a better running back. Mm-hmm. But, Will Anderson, I don't know, it's a soft spot for you. Will Anderson Jr. is a gun.
I love him.
And, they don't even have Tank Dell still. They have a few injuries. Dalton Schultz is good. I don't think this is a walkover for the Ravens.
No, I'm taking the Texans plus 9.5.
Yeah.
That's just way too many. I think I had a stat. The Ravens play a too high safety coverage at a top 10 rate in the NFL. CJ Stroud against a too high safety. He's a top 5 quarterback.
Is this Sal Viteri stats? Sal something? Is that guy?
Sure. No.
There's a guy on Instagram called Sal Viteri or something. He does a lot of these prop things and he breaks down the coverage. And it's the same thing. It's funny though, he did it for the Packers-Niners games and essentially said both quarterbacks are playing against like the perfect defense for them. But Marlon Humphreys is out. That was announced
big.
not too
Mark
long
Andrews.
ago.
I think Mark Andrews was the big one for me because I feel like Andrews could have tore Texans up.
Yeah, I mean, for me though, that injury was long enough ago that I've kind of discounted that, and I must be honest, likely looks like a gun. He's not Mark Andrews. Let me make that clear. But I do feel like they've played enough without Andrews that subside a little bit. I think Humphrey going down makes a difference. I still think the Ravens win. I just think it's going to be. I actually think it's going to be a ripper game. I'm going to be flying, unfortunately, during this game, so I can't.
What
can't
airlines?
watch it. Hey,
what airline? You going to have Wi-Fi?
Mate, I don't even know who I'm fucking flying.
Oh well,
I've not prepared well for this. Big, yeah. Well, please watch this game. Is what I'm saying.
I'll watch it for you.
Okay, we're going to move on from the Saturday night game because we'll talk about that last. Sunday, we got the Bucks going in to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a fun game. The game previews 11 minutes, 11 seconds. So that tells me something off the bat that it's going to be,
that's
something
fun.
Something in that. I don't know. Put it over to you. What do you reckon? Give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I reckon the Lions have probably got a bit too much talent. I think they'll get the W, but I'm taking the Bucks +6. Just the Bucks. The Bucks D's looked pretty dangerous, and then Baker is just doing enough. Like it's fun.
Seeing the 11-11, Buccaneers are going to win. Yeah. Bucks will win. Both Godwin and Evans are going to have over 100 yards.
Yeah, Baker go off game. I like it.
Baker's going to go for 324, 3 tuds, no interceptions, and Goff's throwing 2 picks.
Yeah, I can see Goff throwing some picks.
Because Whitfield Jr. in that D, I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Pretty big 2 games to round this out. Chiefs at Bills on Sunday afternoon, evening. Billy, what do you got?
I'm taking the Bills to win. At home, Josh Allen is playing pretty nice. I know Taylor Swift's ruined the Chiefs season, so they aren't winning shit. Patrick hasn't looked the same. He's going to bitch and moan about every little thing. Kelsey hasn't looked great. It's going to be another cold one. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills at home. Is this like the Chiefs? Is this Patrick Mahomes' first away playoff game? Yeah, it is. So I'm backing in the Bills.
I'm going to use your logic against you, and I'm going to say because of Taylor Swift, the Chiefs are going to win.
All right.
Because the story of Jason Kelsey retiring ups the whole Kelsey aspect of the story. You got the Taylor Swift situation. You've got Mahomes on the road for the first time. And to be honest, he did play pretty well last week. I want the Bills to win, don't get me wrong. Bills lost another injury last week. Bills are decimated. If the Bills were healthy, you go through Miami's injury list and you look at Buffalo's, and then you turn to Miami and go, well, there's no excuse because look what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I actually think the Chiefs are going to make Super Bowl.
Well, that was my prediction. Is the Niners? The Niners beat them bitches.
Yeah, that would be a good revenge game. Okay, shall we talk about it? Shall we talk about the last one?
Quick, 2 minutes.
Before we talk about the Niners, let's talk about this Jordan Love guy. You watched it. Tell me what you think from what you saw.
He was pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like some of the throws, he'd be like fucking off, like back foot, throw it. Receiver's running down. He's like going this way, and then he just turns and it's like pop. It was just like someone was saying, yeah, Jordan Love's just like in his receiver's headset, being like, turn around.
Yeah, turn left now. Yeah.
It was. He was pretty ridiculous. But yeah, obviously Dallas. We've
seen what can happen to Dallas.
They're not them boys, and we saw what happened to them on that lovely night down in San Jose with the Purdies. They're not them. The Cowboys aren't them. So, and then Love just absolutely destroyed them, which is beautiful to see. Aaron Jones was Aaron Jones. He looked
well.
healthy.
Here's the thing: Aaron Jones ain't Aaron
That's
Jones ain't
just
going to run
scary.
like that in the 49ers. Okay.
No, that was one of my punts. We've chucked that up on our Insta, but it was, Aaron Jones under 16.5 rushing attempts.
Yeah, I like that. Well, Instagram ends automatically on an hour. That's interesting little thing.
Is that new?
We'll better round it out then because no one's watching.
Yeah, I don't think that happened last time.
No, I don't think we've ever hit the hour because remember we were doing 45 minutes.
Yeah, we ended up getting quick. This was a good one.
I'm nervous because I'll preface this. I would have been nervous no matter who we're playing because I've never won it. Okay, I've never won it, and it doesn't matter who we're playing. It doesn't matter if we win by 50 this week. I'm gonna be nervous next week. So I just want to preface that. But they cannot run the ball on us like they did last week. No, they will not do that.
You're done. Okay? That'd be.
And if you take that away from them, like last week, they wouldn't have done everything. The play actions, no. Am I saying that Jordan Love might still throw for 3 tuds, or they might put up But I think the flip side of it is they won't stop us from scoring. I was talking to a guy from work today. If the Niners keep the Packers under 24 points, we win by 10 plus. That's how I feel about our team. Brock's not throwing 4 picks. That fucking game, 3 of them were tipped, whatever. And the thing about that game is we had 3 interceptions at halftime. We're down by 4 points. Look, I will say this. If we lose one of the biggest choke jobs that have
out of top Dallas,
yes. But you never know. But I also just think that the coaching staff that we have will not let these guys not just walk out there as fucking you think you can walk out next to Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw and not just destroy these fuckers?
It's not going to be. You could say as soon as this game, the Packers Cowboys, Aaron Jones just rips off 20 yards. It's like a knife through butter on a summer day in Australia.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
I think the boys get the job done. I look, it's all there for us. Super Bowl or bust. I'm planning to celebrate my first ever Super Bowl win in Montreal with random French Canadians. Okay, that seems to me like a pretty perfect little story for me.
Seems normal.
Okay, let's leave it there. All right. Well, bit of a long one. We haven't done one for a while. Olive's saying, see, that's the final siren. Fat lady singing.
Fat lady singing.
Did they say that over here?
Probably not. That might get us cancelled. Fuck.
Yeah. Maybe the wrong joke might
go. The lady who weighs 4.9 pounds is singing.
Yeah, these days. All right, mate. Well.
Yeah. Happy podding. I guess we can work out.
The pod may be very ad hoc timing for the next few weeks, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Between Cancun, Montreal, Italy.
Yeah. Someone's got to do it.
Scotland. We'll work out times. The times might get wild card, but
mate, I was set free. Okay, it wasn't my choice. I didn't choose this, but I might as well maximize the opportunity. Right. So
you're a peacock, and we're letting you fly.
I think that's the best thing to say. All right, goodbye, everyone.